Hey guys, and welcome back to our second part of our little backup series. Today I want to talk about SD mirroring. This is highly recommended if you use your openHAB system on a SD card. For this you need a USB SD card reader and a second SD card. My internal SD card, where my openHAB system is running on, got 16 GB of storage. My second SD card, got 64 gigs of storage. You can choose a second SD card which is the same size or bigger than your internal SD card. To check if the Raspberry Pi sees our external SD card, just type in lsblk in your terminal, and then you will find your internal SD card called mmcblk0 with my 16 GB storage, and my external SD card SDA with my 64 gigs of storage. To set up SD mirroring, just type in sudo openhabian config, your password, and then we pick the menu point 50 like we did on the manual backup, and now we pick the menu point 53, set up SD mirroring. This installs the SD mirroring, and now in the next step we have to choose our external SD card. In my case, I only plugged in one external SD card or one external USB adapter. So I pick SDA with my 64 gigs of storage, click on continue, and now we get an information that all files on the SD card will be erased. So we go on continue again. And now the SD mirroring tool creates the partitions we need to clone our internal SD card to the external SD card. On the internal SD card, there are two partitions, the boot partition and the root partition, which contains the openHAB configuration. As you can see here, the tool creates three partitions in my case, because my storage is bigger than my internal SD card. So you can see SDA1, this one will be the boot partition, SDA2, this one will be the root partition, and SDA3 is a third partition which is empty because, as I said before, my external SD card is bigger than my internal SD card. But don't worry, we can use this space to create Amanda backups onto or just store different files. Now the tool creates a clone of our internal SD card. So for example, if your internal SD card where openHAB is running on right now gets corrupted or gets damaged, you just can pick your external SD card out of your SD card reader, plug it into your Raspberry Pi, and you're up and running without any configuration. So I highly recommend to use this tool if you run openHAB on a SD card. In my case, my internal SD card got 16 GB, so this takes around about 25 minutes to clone the one SD card to another one. And right after it, we can check the timers, because this SD mirroring tool runs the backup automatically. So basically the root partition, which contains your openHAB configuration, will be cloned each day, and the boot partition will be cloned each month, because normally you don't change your boot partition. So if you set this up correctly, everything runs automatically and you got always two exactly the same SD cards. So as I said before, if one gets corrupted, you can just take the other SD card out of your SD card reader, plug it into your Raspberry Pi, and everything will be fine. After the first mirroring, the program jumps right back into the openhabian configuration tool. Now we can leave this. If you want to check the timers for the SD mirroring, just type in systemctl list timers. And then you will find two newly created timers. One called SD rsync timer and the second one is called SD raw copy timer. As you can see, the SD raw copy timer was run 22 minutes ago and will be triggered again in 9 hours. The SD raw copy timer will be triggered again in 5 months, as we don't change our boot partition as often. If you want to change these timers, just type in sudo nano etc system d system SD timer. And here inside this file, you can change your timers, but I would highly recommend to leave this as default, because normally this is set up correctly and everything works fine right out of the box. So I would leave this file here. So let's say you changed a lot of files inside your openHAB and you want to be sure that your external SD card is on the same stage as your internal SD card. There is a possibility to push the synchronization manually. To do this, we have to go inside our openhabian configuration tool again. And then we pick the menu point 50. And now you have to pick menu point 55, Sync SD. This one will synchronize your internal SD card to your external SD card manually. But this one is only a one-time job. I would recommend to do this if you changed a lot of files, so a lot of items, a lot of pages, and you want to be sure that both cards are on the same stage. So I would just click on Sync SD and then the second partition, the root partition, will be synchronized again, and you can be sure that both cards are on the same stage. So that was the SD mirroring. As I said, I highly recommend this option if you run your openHAB system on a SD card, because I think there is no easier way to set up an automatic backup. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you to the next one, to the last part of our little backup series, and then we talk about the Amanda backup. Bye bye.